Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right.
Man, it's really disappointing to see how Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters behave. But it's no surprise that people would fight over politicians. People fight over things that are supposed to be fun, like games. We have rivalries between teams that can get pretty testy. People lose their freaking minds over sports and teams and players. So it's no surprise that people will get all bent out of shape over politicians. Now, a lot of us have been blaming Obama over dividing this country. You know what? All the blame doesn't fall on Obama for dividing this country. We the people are the ones with the power to draw the sword and wield the self-inflicted wound of division. Now, while we try to blame Obama for division, I'm looking at America right now being divided over Trump, and being divided over Cruz, and being divided over Hillary, and being divided over Bernie Sanders. Side note, this is one of the reasons why I don't support a third party. As divided as the country is, you got third party folks who are like, hey, let's divide the country even more. Man, I got the diarrhea. I think I'll munch on this bran muffin and wash it down with a bottle of castor oil. And then you got third party folks who want to remind us that the Republican Party was a third party. Like, that's a brilliant and justifiable point for a third party. Because meanwhile, they overlook that they are miserable about the third party that they're trying to use to make a third party point with. And think that the solution is to give the third party idea another go around. I really don't vote person. I vote party. Yeah, that's right. I don't vote Democrat. Because the very basis of what it is to be a Democrat is to be at odds with the Ten Commandments and the Constitution. The Democrats are so against the Constitution that when they represented the Confederacy, they made their own Constitution against the U.S. Constitution. So it's pretty affirmative that the Democrats are against the Constitution. The Republican basis stands closer to the Bible and the Constitution. Do we have deviants who are Republican? Yes. But with the Democrats, you are practically assured a deviant because the Democrat platform itself is deviant from the Ten Commandments and the Constitution. Whereas with the Republican basis, at least you get a better chance that someone will hold up closer to the model that is inherently not at odds with the Ten Commandments and the Constitution. That's why I vote party more so than person. There's exceptions to every one of our rules, but that's my basis. That being said, my vote isn't for Trump per se, it's for the Republican Party. I'd take Kasich over Hillary, and I would not like it. But for those of y'all who are mad about Trump, I keep telling y'all over and over again, if you would stop putting all this energy into focusing on politicians as if they were the answer to your problems while paying lip service to the idea that government is the problem, and would instead put that energy to supporting the promotion of conservatism, we wouldn't be facing such a big problem as to who we're going to have represent us as a solid conservative. I'm not really excited about Trump, but I can't really get with the Never Trump campaign. Because y'all, you remind me too much of Jonah. Believe it or not, the Ninevites were far, far worse than Trump. But God still wanted Jonah to give him a chance. Lord, that's a tough one. Jonah was like, hell no, to the no, no, no. Unforgiving and lacking grace. Jonah shipped out, determined not to forgive. Shoot, I'm gonna get in my boat and I ain't forgiving nobody. Not me, no Lord. A lot of y'all see America as a sinking ship. And well, that sounds familiar because Jonah was on a sinking ship. And the weight of his unforgiveness came in the form of winds bearing down on the ship he was on. Thus, his unforgiveness became a liability to the others on board. Those of you who are so unforgiving that you would rather see Hillary as president also represent a liability that will contribute to the sinking of our ship. And pride has a way of punching holes through ship decks. Hillary shows no remorse, justifies herself, and remains in her worldview that is apart from God and the Constitution. Trump's got a long way to go, but at least he's gone from someone who supported Hillary to someone who doesn't. He still doesn't completely get what it is to be a conservative, but he did pick a running mate who kind of fills in the blanks where he doesn't get it. But y'all are gonna pout like Jonah and sit back and watch a plant sprout that could grow into a beautiful tree, but instead let a worm eat it and be mad about the worm eating it, when you could have got up and watered the plant and protected it so it could flourish. Well, if you sit back and let Hillary Clinton get elected, you'll be like Jonah, who sat there and let the worm eat the plant and keep it from thriving. All because you didn't want to forgive Nineveh. Hashtag never Nineveh, never, never. A lot of liberals out there are afraid that Trump is going to get us into a war. I got a news flash for you. We're already at war. We're at war because our enemies do not fear us, thanks to people like you. They're not going to be afraid of Hillary Clinton, and the less afraid our enemies are, the greater the chance for war. Or if Hillary will not involve the US in wars, slaughter will increase as other factions won't be worried about Hillary stopping them as they violate those human rights that y'all act like you care so much about. And you liberals can say, we don't care if other people are getting slaughtered as long as there's no war. War is not the answer. Letting genocide go unanswered is. I'm ready for Hillary. Y'all, God told Jonah that the Ninevites are people who can't tell their left from their right. And Trump, kind of like the Ninevites, hasn't grasped the distinction from the left end of the political spectrum from the right end of the political spectrum. But God saw the potential in the Ninevites to open their eyes to what's right and wanted Jonah to warn them and be joyful that they saw the light, not be joyful with the idea of them meeting their destruction. My suggestion, don't act like Jonah. Don't be blaming Obama for dividing this country. You're doing that to yourselves. We've been doing it from one degree to another before Obama, and we're doing it over things right now. Come on, y'all, knock it off. Thanks again for coming to get your refill from the Zoloft, and if you dig our sessions and you want to support, hope you'll visit my website, AlfonZoRachel.com, so I can keep the supply coming. Shoot, I'm gonna get in my boat and I ain't forgiving nobody. Not me, no Lord.